Good evening, New Orleans, and welcome to another episode of NOLA Untold. I'm your host, Esplanade Ed, New Orleans' #1 tour guide, and I'm here to dig up the dirt, unearth the secrets, and spill the tea on the real history of New Orleans. Tonight, we're going to continue our series on the history of Esplanade Avenue. We will focus our discussion this evening on the upriver side of the 500 block. Let's jump right into it. Leading the upriver 500 block of Esplanade is number 504, home of the BMC Club. This property was the first tract of land sold on Esplanade after Fort St. Charles and the walls surrounding the city came down. In 1810, Michael Anfo purchased the land from the city and erected a series of cottages. It wasn't until 1836 that the current building was constructed for Citizens Bank, along with the 3 stores facing Decatur Street. It remained a bank until 1884 when it became Donaldson's Dime Museum. The property at 510 Esplanade was also originally owned by Michael Anfo. Citizens Bank acquired this property during their 1836 acquisition of 504 Esplanade as well and constructed the current house, which was sold to Jean Mager in 1842. The Collard heirs of France held the property from 1845 to 1884 when it was sold to Ramon Vilosca. The earliest city record of land sales for 524 Esplanade go back to 1792, but it wasn't until 1812, when the lot was bought by Pierre Seguin, that a house was constructed on the land. John Washam bought the property in 1844 and built the current house in 1845. Washam died in 1849, and the house was sold to the de Bourjac family. Fun fact, the Vicomte and the Madame de Bourjac got married in New Orleans at St. Louis Cathedral in 1825. Think about that for a second. The house was sold in 1893 to Gaspar Cusax. He was the president of the Louisiana Historical Society, and he owned one of the city's most extensive libraries. He lived at the house until he died in 1929. The house is a perfect example of New Orleans' center hall architecture and remains a single-family home to this day. Last on the upriver 500 block of Esplanade, but certainly not least, is 544 Esplanade. This lot has a very interesting history. The first city record of land sales for this lot dates back to 1811. In 1817, the property and house on the land at the time was bought by Jean-Baptiste Denet, a free woman of color. The house remained owned by free people of color until 1855, when it was purchased by Francois Gras. The house passed through various hands until 1931, when its most famous resident, Count Arnaud, the founder of Arnaud's restaurant in the French Quarter, bought the property. Count Arnaud made architectural improvements to the home, like adding the Italian entrance and cast iron balcony that gives the house its current character. The house was inherited by Germaine Wells, famous New Orleans socialite and Count Arnaud's daughter, and was even home to Nicolas Cage in 2002 when he reigned over Bacchus. On our next episode, we'll go up the downriver side of the 500 block of Esplanade and reveal stories and histories you don't want to miss. If you want to learn more, go to my website at www.esplanadeed.com and book one of my tours. They go more in depth and they are so much fun. You can check out my Crescent City Chronicle blog on my website as well. It has all sorts of cool New Orleans history. Until next time, keep it curious, folks. And remember, the real history of New Orleans is waiting to be discovered, one untold story at a time.